Hi everyone, LiberAnarchy here. Since many people are making videos about their New Year's resolutions, I will make a video telling you about my resolutions that I made on December 31st. The first resolution is to write a novel. It's not going to be a NaNoWriMo style race to 50,000 words. It can be any length, and I want it to be decent. I want it to be coherent. When I'm finished, it may not be, in my opinion, worthy of publication, so I may not send it off to a publisher and I may not self-publish, but the goal is to write a novel that I consider fairly decent. And it can be a short novel, but it's going to be a novel. Novel being a long work of fiction. Now, last year with NaNoWriMo, I did not make the 50,000 words, but yeah, let's just say I had English nannies, space terrorists, Abraham Lincoln, elves. Yeah, it was nonsense, but the goal there was to just write a 50,000 word long work of fiction. But this is going to be coherent and hopefully decent. Now then, the next resolution is a little more unusual, but I will do 5 things this year that involve my idea of otherkin, but I will be putting forth things in a real-world fashion and in a functional fashion. What is the point, and why just 5? Well, I could do 5 things in one day, but those things wouldn't be very well thought out, nor would I have very good results in the end. Now, when I say 5 things that have to do with the real world and that are functional, and that still have to do with otherkin, I am not talking about writing, 85 blog entries about what I think I did in a past life or something like that. It's fine if that's what you want to do. I don't begrudge anybody the right to go ahead and do that. But what I'm thinking is something that brings what is in my mind, a part of myself, a part of my identity, into the real world in some functional way. One example that I am already doing is growing mushrooms. Now, at this stage of the game, a growth cycle is already complete, and it's about time for the patch to start another growth cycle, and so I have to put holes in the mushroom patch and pour non-chlorinated water, cold non-chlorinated water into the holes. Oh, but mushrooms are something that exist in the real world, and goodness gracious, they can be eaten, and they are good. Why mushrooms? Well, I feel an intrinsic tie to mushrooms. Perhaps it's because they grow in decaying things, and a lot of people think that they're gross, and so I think they're very underappreciated. Perhaps it's because some people associate them with the fairies or with something alien. In fact, in the horror genre, I mean, fungi is kind of a staple. Sort of like slime, and, I mean, fungi is supposed to be gross. Fungus. I mean, like, do you want toe fungus, for example? No. Mushrooms are fungus. People think that they're gross. So maybe that's it. And I'm more apt to attribute otherkin to psychology rather than a different soul or past lives or something like that. And my novel may or may not involve otherkin or Therians or something like that. It may or may not involve themes of identifying as something not human. It may involve themes of having a stronger connection to nature than most people, which I suspect is happening in a lot of cases with otherkin. Another example is helping animals that I feel a tie to in some capacity. Draw a picture, write a short story, and put it up where people can read it and comment on it. Yeah, something that brings people in the real world enjoyment. The closer it is to the real world, the better. So if it is, actually helping somebody, or if it is actually producing real food or a real product that I could give away or that I could sell, then all the better. And the better quality, great. Cactus. I feel a tie to the desert. I feel at home there. Part of my childhood was spent in Texas, and some of the best family vacations that we've had were in the desert. I feel good and happy in the desert. I feel at home. So one thing that I am likely to do is grow cactus. And that's another thing. I've had cactus a lot growing up. Just different kinds of cactus. Easy to grow. I mean, if you forget to water your cactus, you're there's something wrong with you. If you're taking care of a cactus and it dies, yeah, you fail. But my point is, cactus make me happy, and I feel a real tie to cactus. So that's another thing. Growing cactus would definitely count, because I'm producing something. I'm growing something, and it's in the real world. One thing I think that a lot of otherkin do is get off in La La Land, and I've done this too. Trying to think of the time period. From about 2001 onward, or late 2001, and a few years from then, I sort of got caught up in this, the veil is falling and we have to bring magic back to the world, and I got caught up in this whole mentality of, spiritual this, mystical that, there's things going on in the astral plane, there's this, and if you want to believe that, that's fine. I will not try to rob you of that right. However, I didn't get much out of it. If anything, I got a lot of misery, because there were people making a lot of drama about getting attacked in the astral plane or something, and then I would get caught up in drama, and then I would think that I was being attacked, and I'd think that having some sort of nightmare meant that I was being attacked or something. It was pretty stupid. On my part, and on the part of many other people. I didn't get anything out of it, nothing good. So I really would hope and encourage otherkin to take what is inside them and bring it out into the real world in a healthy and functional way, rather than spending a lot of time on the interweb nets, on the interbutts, just going on about how different we feel. And of course, it's great to have people on the internet to talk to, it's great to have our journals and things like that, but it's very easy to get caught up in wasting our time on, I guess I would call it, our identities. And if you spend even an hour in a day on it, well, what have you got to show for it? I mean, if you have something to show for it, that's great. I never got anything. I don't have anything really to show for it. So so I'm trying to acknowledge that part of myself in a way where I will have something to show for it, and other people will have something to show for it. Now, what exactly are these 5 things going to be? I don't know. But since I didn't pick a real high, since I'm not shooting for a very high number, I'm thinking that each thing will be something of quality, something that I can put my time into, and then I can maybe show you on camera and say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm about, this is what I feel tied to, this is what speaks to my heart, this is what makes me happy, and it will not be just somebody going on about, well, in my case, I feel like some kind of space alien storm something. What does that mean to anybody else unless you're in my head? Zilch point shit. And that's okay. So, yeah. But of course, it is only healthy to acknowledge and honor yourself. Not in a superficial way, but in a genuine, self-honest, realistic way. So, there you go. So if you got this far, thanks very much, because I do tend to ramble, and if you've made calendrical New Year's resolutions, because every day you can make a new resolution. I mean, this calendar we use, it's only the year of their Lord. Your year can be anything you want. It's all you. It's your life, your years. Come on, man. But if you did make a New Year's resolution, by all means, share it with me. Good luck on it, and hope you stick to it. And and please, if somebody in July or October wants to send me this video again, please do that, because I'm serious about my resolutions. Back in December, early December, late November, I couldn't use the treadmill really anymore, so I resolved to lose weight, and I did it. You don't need to you don't need to go by the calendar that has been imposed on us, which I don't particularly like, but that's a whole nother rant. Alright, so thanks for listening, and know thyself.